Bucyrus City Council for May the 2nd, 2017 is called to order. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
McKeever.
Here.
Wireball.
Here.
Trucca.
Here.
Snap.
Here.
O'Rourke. Here. Pfeiffer. Here.
Before you have the minutes of the April the 18th, 2017 regular meeting. I need a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Trucca, second by Mr. McKeever to accept the April 18th, 2017 regular meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passed. This is where we grant permission for visitors to speak. This evening we have Jeanette, is it Smakel?
It is. She's not here right now, ma'am. So it's Barb Scott and Josh Alford currently.
You're going to fill in for her? Okay, if you would step up, please, and tell us your names, please, and your address and the group you're representing.
Sure. I'm Josh Alford with Crawford County United Way, so 138 Harding Way West, County, where the office is located.
And I'm Barbara Scott. I'm the Children's Librarian at Bucyrus Public Library. My address is 4074 Lincoln Highway, Bucyrus.
Okay, thank you.
We're here to present a program geared towards child literacy, and we're trying to build support for that amongst the community. With right now, it's a book drive with the ultimate goal of handing out books at the summer lunch locations.
At the summer lunch locations, you said? Okay.
All around the county.
All around the county, okay.
Yes, we want it to be a countywide initiative. We're trying to build support for this. I have some handouts as well that have some data backing up why we're
As part of the community health assessment, which probably a lot of you are familiar with, we noticed a disturbing trend that there was a percentage of parents that did not read at all to their children, whether that's a lack of books in the house or whatever, and we want to turn that trend around. We're modeling this after a initiative that's in Marion County called Let's Read 20. Our initiative, there's Jeanette, is very similar to that one, and we sort of modeled our counties after Marion's.
If you'll refer the handout when you get it, the top page is our purpose, mission, vision, slogan and tagline, and then collection of books kind of talking about who to contact if you have books you'd like to donate. The second page is why it's Crawford Reads 20. It's geared around this data, talking about why you should read 20 minutes a day to children, especially just helping with the vocabulary and the overall success of the child seems to improve, given that statistic. So our main goal is to get that message out there, to try and just saturate the community with that kind of information. At the same time, provide availability to age-appropriate books that kids might not have.
So are you looking then, you're looking for donations of books? Are you looking for donations, or both?
Both.
Because we need to establish it and also have printing and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
For the printing, the logos, any other things that we need.
We have an approved logo. What we need is a group, and we approved a logo that was designed by 3 kids that work at Pioneer. Designed this logo. So we have one approved. It's not on the handout, unfortunately, but that is in the working, so in the future we'll look for that, try to brand it.
So we do hope to have the stickers done by this summer lunch program so that the books can be branded with the Crawford Reads 20 sticker.
For those that maybe not know, we have a summer lunch program where all the children in the schools, is it all the county schools? Or is it it's in Bucyrus?
Gallion has some
East
too,
County
yeah.
and Bucyrus are most.
Gallion and Bucyrus primarily, okay, where they go to a certain place every day and they can get a free lunch.
Right.
Yes, and that's when we want to build the books.
And that's where you want to hand the books out to the kids. And I know you spend time playing games with them when they're there anyway, and there's a lot of activity with the children that come for those free lunches.
Yeah, last summer the library served over 800 lunches over a 2-month.
You are
period.
one of the sites?
Yes, we are.
For
The library is one of the sites.
Okay.
Yes.
And so now we need, how can we get a hold of you, and where can we leave our books, where can we make our donations, all of that?
Sure. If you look at the bottom of the front page of the handout, you've got my contact information under Crawford County United Way,
Okay.
and the office phone number and my email.
Okay,
And then we're also partnered up with the Crawford County Family and Children First Council, so that would be Tina Waller, her contact information as well.
And then also you can call me, because I'm the one that's been collecting them. Pick
okay,
them up.
do we have a phone number for you?
I can give that to you.
Okay,
It's Jeanette, JEANNETTE, SMAKAL. My phone number is 562-1674,
okay,
or my cell phone is 262-8352, 419.
okay. Those are 419 area codes?
Yes.
And Gary, we can make sure that we get this information out on the Access channel, and we'll talk with John also to make sure it goes on the city website. And I'm sure that we can also get the mayor to volunteer. If anybody wants to bring books up here, we'll gladly collect them.
Yes, if I could add that, we can put a collection, I already talked to Joe.
Yeah, I already talked to him. I got a box coming, which I'm planning on getting it here Friday.
Okay.
And books can also be dropped off at the library as well.
Is there any age group of books, I mean, for a specific age group that you're looking for?
We're targeting birth up through 3rd grade right now.
Up through third grade?
But
Because
there's more.
That's the 3rd grade reading guarantee that's in all the schools, so we really want to target that particular area at this point.
Okay.
Not to say in the future we won't expand it beyond this.
Okay. Okay. I happen to know that there are 400 books out there right now that were handed out at Halloween. And if you have one of those books, you're done reading it, it would be a good idea to bring it back up here, and we can recycle them and send them back out again. So recycled books are great books. They've been treated with love. We all know that. So.
Oh yeah, I have 2 churches, which I just got another shipment of more books from a church.
Okay.
And so they're different ages, which would work for us. So, and I have more coming. So I'm hoping to get more.
Okay. So programming, we're encouraging the families to read 20 minutes a night, 20 minutes. And it makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
It makes a big difference in so many ways. Anyone else with other comments about this? Well, thank you all for coming in here this evening. We really appreciate it, and we'll do what we can to help move the program along.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Thank you for giving us
Thank
time.
you.
Okay, you're more than welcome. Thank you. Next, we have Mike Corwin. Pastor Mike.
Yes, Madam Secretary, or not Secretary, President, and honorable members. I'm here first off as pastor, and then I'm going to switch to retired police chief. So the pastor part is, after this came out in the paper, I had 5 or 6 copies of this newspaper dropped off in my office, and people questioning whether Bucyrus is becoming Capitol Hill. Some people are kind of dismayed that this issue has turned into almost a vigilante. If you're not on the right side, then things are being said. And I would just ask everybody to remember, we're still in Bucyrus, Ohio. This isn't the Democrats versus the Republicans on the Hill. And in a democracy, last I checked my books, we were supposed to be able to debate and have conversation without being mean and nasty. And, I mean, I have not talked to Bill about it. I don't know why he didn't come to your meeting, but, you know, I read that and I'm going like, well, did somebody maybe ask if he had gotten hurt in an accident or one of his kids? And all I saw was an immediate attack. And I'm not the only one that saw that. A lot of other people did. So that's the police, or I mean the pastor part of me, just asking everybody to please be civil as you work through these issues. Low passion's okay, but. And then as my secondary reason to be here was I said at this last meeting that we were passing some legislation for some other stuff, and I listened to some of the going on, and Bill brought up or Councilman O'Rourke, no, he brought up some points, and they were shot down pretty quick. And I wanted to come to speak as a retired chief when alcohol used to be a little bit bigger in this community, and it kind of waned, and now it's coming back, obviously. I'm not here to say pass it, I'm not here to say not pass it, I'm not here to take a side. What I am here to say is if you are going to do it, then please make sure, for the benefit of the police department and the safety services, that you have all your infrastructure in place. Whether we want to admit it or not, sometimes alcohol makes us stupid. And you will have some unrest. Because I'm guessing the one place isn't the only one that's going to end up with this on the public sidewalk. If you open it to one, unless Mr. Neff tells me or Mr. Ratliff tells me, boy, am I going way back now? Unless Rob tells me I'm wrong, then I mean, you pretty much got to open it up to whoever wants to do it. And there's different demographics within your community. So you are going to have some problems. So you need to take that into account. You are going to have, and I know you kind of took him to task for the urination comment, but I remember actually having a thing called the Pee Patrol on Friday and Saturday nights because the business people got tired of smelling their doorways in the hot summer. So that will be an issue. It just will. You are going to have littering, and you already have it, I understand that, but you are going to be adding to it. You are going to probably be looking at some vandalism that comes with that same territory. You will be looking at some fighting. You will be looking at underage people trying to do things they shouldn't do. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you're going to do this, make sure that you've got in the budget for like overtime for your police. I think it's actually a pretty good community policing thing. Have your police down there walking and talking to people during the summer when this is going on. It could actually turn into be a plus for that way too, but if you don't have them visible, then you're just asking for some of these problems to manifest themselves. Public seating, I heard that the signs have been ordered to say this is for customers only. The police will get calls. Because I remember when they put the park benches on, and we got calls asking us to remove certain people that were deemed undesirable sitting out in the public. Now, once you put it on the public sidewalk, again, unless I misread the law, you can put all the signs you want up to. Once it's on that sidewalk, it's public. And anybody has the right to sit there. So your police need to be geared up for, that's going to be an issue. That will be an issue. The only other thing that I wanted to say after listening to the presentation last time, I'm not sure that the sales pitch for this whole thing should be that you leave Columbus, you park in Bucyrus, Ohio and drink, and then you get back in your car and drive to the lakes. Just not sure that's a good one. Maybe you ought to re-examine that sales pitch before you go any farther. Again, I'm not here to take a for or against. I'm just here to say, go in with your eyes open. Make sure you have all the infrastructure in place so that it doesn't become a problem if you do it. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, Pastor Mike. Questions? Mr. Rourke.
Last meeting I brought up to the mayor, or last meeting, or committee meeting, about the fact of if you have outdoor liquor sales, having someone pick up and having porta pots. I guess my point was, you have 3 or 4 places that are out serving, and then they close. It's the same as 2:30 in the morning when people go out.
Yeah.
They need a place to go, and if all these other businesses are closed, what are they supposed to do? You brought up the fact of urination, and I mean, I've seen it. I think together we have over 60 years of law enforcement. Young lady last meeting brought up the fact of we don't give the citizens of Bucyrus enough credit. And just being realistic, you can give them all the credit they want, it still happens.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, you're dealing with, from one end of your business to the other, you're going to be dealing with different demographics of people. So what you can say for this end is not going to hold true for this end. This end might be very well behaved, it might be, and you notice I'm not taking ends here, so don't send me letters and cards. No, but I mean, you've got vast differences of people in this community. I mean, anybody that has been through here used to remember when the Mad Bull was open. The Mad Bull left out at the same time that the Crazy Fox left out, and they both came together in the middle of the street. Two different demographics, and they did not mix. We broke up fights every weekend. So to say that we don't give the people enough credit, there are some people that I give a lot of credit to. There are other people that no, I don't, because I've seen them in action. Every Sunday when I go to church in the morning, I have to pick trash up out of my clothes. It's already there even without this, so what I'm guessing is this will just add to it. I hate to even think of what that art park's gonna look like. So I mean, I would start thinking like trash cans, and of course we all know that some of the demographics don't know what a trash can is or how to hit. So that's what I'm saying though, is if you go into this thinking ahead, then you can stave a lot of this off. If you don't think ahead and you're just going to, because you want to be like the short north of Columbus, then you're going to have issues. I didn't call, I should have, but I'm guessing the short north has extra people on the weekends downtown in that area with undercover and all that stuff, because I'm sure they had, hasn't been that long ago, what, one of the co-eds from Ohio State got kidnapped there and raped and murdered out of that area. So, and I'm guessing if you talk to them, they would all tell you, well, not our people, they're college kids. Well, it's not just the college kids that were there that night. This guy had just gotten out of prison or something, if I remember right. So no matter what you do, you're going to have these issues somewhere along the line. Somewhere along the line.
Other questions or comments? Thank you very much for coming. Go study for your interview tomorrow.
I'm going to.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else to address council this evening? Please, could we have your name and address?
Yes, I'm Barbara Pritchard. I live at 616 Virginia Avenue.
And Dwayne Dybel, 616 Virginia Avenue.
He is the property owner of Virginia Avenue. We are here due to the traffic committee that they had last week, an article that went in the Telegraph newspaper about the alley on Virginia, Kaler, and Wise. That they want to put barricades up. They want to put dead-end signs up. They're saying that there's not enough easement way there. Easement way has been given. The land has been surveyed. Nothing has ever been done. Buildings have been taken down. Trees have been taken down. Nobody has done nothing with the alley. Just helped. The city has just helped create more problems down on the end of Virginia. Well, we're all here today because we do not want it to change. We want it to stay the way it is. And when they had this meeting, I think they should have sent us all a letter when they had it. And before we got the letter after the meeting, before it hit the Telegraph form. Because what's in the Telegraph form, and whoever stated it is falsely stating information to the Telegraph form or whoever's writing it. Because I have here, I have the letter where they sent it to us, we got it Saturday, that they're going to put the barricades up and the dead end signs. And I think some just got here yesterday. Okay. Then I have here the notes of the minutes from that meeting. And then I have the deed to the easement way and the date that it was done. And nobody has ever come out to widen our alley. The building's been taken down, like I said. Things have been done to make that more accessible for us to travel. There's room to travel there, and there's all of us. I got other things to give you. But none of us wants that closed, but the one, or dead end, but the one person, and you guys know who I'm talking about, the one that we all have trouble with every time we travel that alley. And that's Mr. Johnson. And I have minutes here where I have come to City Council and to the traffic committees since January 6, 2004. I have addressed this. I have it in here on on January 6, 2004, about taking the no trespassing signs down and stuff. And that's when President Tagadak was here. Then May 18th, of course, that was Robert Knapp, and there was some kind of conflict of interest, and it had to go to somebody else. September 21st, 2004, it's the planning committee. Having worked on its open project list to request traffic commission to close a portion of the alley that runs west of Kaler and turns north to Wise was withdrawn. And there's more notes on that. March 17th, 2015, Traffic Commission. Richard Johnson addressed the commission regarding the east-west alley along the property of 647 Kaler Avenue. This is an acute right angle that leads to Wise Street. This turn is so sharp vehicles encroach on the property of 637 Kaler Avenue owned by Clutch Dog LLC, Hugh Dobbins. There are buildings and trees that encroach on the alley. They have been several neighbors' disputes over the alley. Mr. Johnson feels that this is his own personal driveway and that is a public alley. Kepke noted that this is westbound outlet and there is the alley off the Kaler or southbound, that he has been told that that is not his private driveway. That is an alley. And there's more notes with that. April 20th, 2015, the vacation of the alley from Kaler Avenue to Wise Street was opposed by Barb Pritchard of 616 Virginia Avenue. She uses the alley to access parking at the rear of her property. She has had issues with Mr. Johnson. When she uses the alley for the last past year, and I've used it for more than 5 years, so I mean I've used it for about 10. It's been discussed, and there's an option on an easement to turn to main, or it could be grant of a variance for the turn. Well, the building's been taken down, the trees have been cut down, bushes have been cut down, the easement has been given by Dobbins, and nothing has been done. I just feel, and then when that hit the paper, how it made us feel, because we have been battling this with Mr. Johnson for all these years. We have went forward, and now we're going backwards in it. We don't understand why. Dobbins gave the easement way for it. It's done. Are we giving in for one man? What I was told, and I don't see him here, our safety director, what I was told by him Wednesday when I come up with the article, which he had to call you, and I was told when he come out to talk to me, is that they have spent so much money on taking Mr. Johnson to court and the judge letting him off, not doing anything to him. So it's costing the city too much money. So what they're going to do, they're going to give one person third way over all of us that's wanting to travel both ends of that alley. What much more can we do? Are you going to accommodate to one person? Or are you going to accommodate to the people that owns the properties and stuff there? And I've got pictures of the alley. Mr. Johnson parks on that alley, and you know what the definition of an alley is. I've got it here, but I know everybody knows what a definition of the alley. It's to unload or load, drop somebody off, not to be there no more than 30 minutes. He parks, or he makes it almost impossible. He runs out his door every time he sees me on Center Street. He sees me coming from Spring Street, and he's rocking in his rocker chair, and he makes sure he's on that porch to say something to me every time. Do you think that I don't feel like I'm threatened when a man runs out on a porch after me because I'm using a public alley? And then you guys say, or whoever in the traffic committee, that it is an unsafe alley. We have never had no accidents there. It's been there 33 years, and we've never had an oncoming car travel in that alley. I have never come into an oncoming car. Everything's down that you can see so well, and I could travel just even better out to hit Wise Street than what I can, I mean not Wise, but Kaler than what I could come out from hit Wise. My preference is to travel out on Wise, and then they say the cars are going too fast. That's a concern. Well, put a patrol or whatever, policeman there and ticket the people that's traveling too fast. We're not having any accidents. None of us has. But now I've said, and I've got pictures here if anybody wants to see the alley. And also I have here today as a petition with the property owners and their names on it to leave the alley like it is. Don't do it for one person to close that alley on the rest of us. We haven't had no trouble traveling that alley. Only with Mr. Johnson. So who?
Mr. Wireball, would you get that first slide?
But I just feel, you know, I come in and I talk to Mr. Dan Ross when Dan Ross was mayor. I couldn't get nowhere. Roger Moore comes in as mayor. Wagner come in as city director. We were poor. I went to meetings. The alley was never closed down on that end. The only thing that was closed down when Richard Johnson put a fence up at a building and a pool to keep us from traveling that. So why are we being punished for one person? Why hasn't the city come and done their job right and made the easement way there for us people to travel that? That's my concern. That's Dwayne's concern. And if anybody, and I know you got the notes that I read from, they're all there. You got the easement way. Mr. Radcliffe took that, and I got that. I think that was in 15, 20.
Yeah, you're not too.
They surveyed it too.
Yeah, they surveyed it, and you guys, they let them pull the stakes up, and they put them in concrete.
Well, we didn't let him.
Well, I understand, but I guess what I'm saying, you let him because he's gotten by with everything.
There are pending criminal charges on that.
Well, what's, if, well, okay, there's pending charges, he goes to grand jury or a bench trial in July of this year.
Been set for trial a couple of times.
So what, and we got the amount that it costs to have the alley surveyed and stuff and that for the easement, and it was about $500 and some, $600. Is that the cost that we're talking about? That it costs the city so much, or is it the cost of Richard Johnson taking the court every time and you guys say the judge lets him off and doesn't do anything?
And I don't want to speak for Chief Kepke on that, but his concern was the amount of officer time responding to Mr. Johnson.
Okay, in the meeting last week, the traffic committee, Richard Johnson traveled down to the neighbor after the meeting and told him they gave it to me. They gave it all to me. They gave me all of it. And it also was quoted that in Kepke, we got something cooking. I can't tell you what it is, but we got something cooking.
I will say that the criminal case is pending, and I hope that it is resolved soon. I think there are there are issues, obviously, and we're trying to get those resolved. And it's been set for trial a couple times, and it gets set out.
I went up Wednesday and signed a paper through Kepke to have every report that I have called in on Richard Johnson and every report that he's called on to me. I have not received nothing, not a call or nothing. And it don't take that long to get up on the computer to get that run off. I'm sorry. I just feel, and every time I make a report, I've never had a policeman come to my house that said they've come to the house because a complaint has been made on me by Mr. Johnson. They have come to my house when I made a complaint on Mr. Johnson because he intimidates me, and I think the man could hurt you or accidentally fall in front of your vehicle when you run over him. Okay, so, and when the police come, he came 2 weeks ago, he told me, well, you know, he's a little bit, and he's probably off his drugs. So there you go. If it's a problem, don't take it out on the rest of us. Take care of the problem.
Can I ask you a question, something unrelated to that, related more to the other end of the alley, and it's completely unrelated to any of that conversation. But there's a post at the end of the alley there at Wide Street. And some people have mentioned that maybe it's hard to make that turn. Is that lamppost?
Well, I
and
can show you
it's completely
that.
unrelated to everything else.
Can I show you that?
Yeah.
Here's pictures. Here's pictures. I mean, this is the end, and I've got it in order to how it runs. So there's 3 utility posts on that.
There's a building on
And
the east
Brenda's-
side that's right on the corner. It's hard to see there.
Yeah. And Brenda's, Harris and Ryan Huff's property runs there. Brenda's got a garage there.
Okay.
But, you know,
It's a whole completely separate issue.
then it's okay, but what I don't understand, how come it's taking so long? Why are we moving backwards?
And we've been through this 3 times.
Yeah.
This is the 3rd time.
Take care of that problem, because he's gonna cause somebody to get hurt.
And that is definitely a fear that I share as well.
And I don't understand why they would have a meeting and discuss this and then go on the telegraph form, and then 4 days later, we get a letter on it. Maybe we should have got a letter, or they should have got a letter before, and then go that way, and then we would have all been not as upset.
I don't know what the safety concern was they talked about in the paper. I've been there 33 years. Somebody want to action report has been on an alley or something. There's not so much traffic on there. It's local people.
Yeah,
People live there.
And it says unwanted traffic.
That house there is the one you're having a problem with?
Yeah,
This one.
yeah, yeah. Nobody else has any problems with each other, you know,
I'll pass.
but,
If members of the council want to see, I have some video. That kind of.
I'm just asking for the
problem.
problem to take care of, and be taken care of properly. Don't make every one of us be unhappy with one person to satisfy him. And if it costs money, it costs money, you know.
You have, how many garages are on that alley? I'm sorry.
Well, there's just not garages, there's driveways. You got 1, 2, I think three garages on it, and probably and parking spaces in the back, and parking
But you
spaces.
need access to those, at least 3 garages on that alley.
Yes.
Yeah, but a lot of houses, that's the only access to the backyard with a vehicle.
Correct.
And you
a
got,
truck in there or something.
and you got somebody that's wanting to build a garage, and he can't, because all he has on Virginia Avenue is out on the road, so he went, and it's behind his house. Okay?
Sure.
Have you ever seen high speed on the alley?
No, never.
I read the article also, and
Right.
being you're in Ward 3, I was unaware of any discussion about it and haven't been, but
No.
I've traveled that alley and have never seen any traffic. And for the police chief to say that the traffic study at high speeds is completely ridiculous and probably untrue. If somebody's just looking for an excuse to alleviate the problem.
Yeah.
And I talked to Mr. Rostash about the easement. He says that's already been granted, and there's no reason why it couldn't be used. So I agree 100%. There's no reason to close it.
No.
And I don't
No,
know.
no.
I think somebody owes the people that live there an explanation.
We do. That's why we all, just about all of us are here. There's a few that couldn't make it. We got one that's in Columbus Hospital, that she would have signed it, but her health is failing. She lost her husband, and that's on Virginia Avenue. We got one over on Kaler. She's failing health. She couldn't get up to answer the door. I mean, and then we got one that's in Florida. That's the only signature that we did not get on that. And I just said, I'm not going to bother them. We're not going to knock on the door anymore. We've got enough signatures, and it should, that majority ruled. You know, so I'm hoping that this is resolved and
For the last time.
for the last time, yes. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, we've set to discuss it further, we've already set a meeting next
Okay.
Monday. Traffic Commission will meet Monday, right here in Council Chambers at 1 p.m.
Monday,
Monday the 8th.
8th, Monday the 8th at 1 p.m. in council chambers. Okay?
Thank you.
And there you have the police chief, the fire chief.
Police chief will be here, fire chief, acting fire chief will be here.
Okay. As well as the service director and
myself.
yourself, and the law director. Yeah, maybe? Okay. So we have that date. That date will be posted then on Access Channel. We'll get it on also onto the website where we keep a copy of, or where we keep all the meetings out there. Any other questions on this subject? Comments? Yes, sir? If you'd step to the podium, please, your name and address.
Eric Dobbins at 863 Arrowhead Drive. And my brother and I and my wife, we own the Clutch Dog LLC, which I own properties on Kaler. We own 625, 629, 635, and 641 Kaler. And we oppose the barricade in the alley. The alley is 12 feet wide, like many other alleys in town, which I get surveys here, just a random few that just show it's a 12-foot wide alleys in town. And in December 2015, I signed an ingress-egress easement with the city of Bucyrus to allow the alley to be widened for the turn for the motorists. And the current survey shows a sharp turn. Right here, which the survey, the ingress egress that I signed, just kind of widens this turn right here. Cuts part of that off. And I mean, the stones were already there on my property where drivers were already using that property to make the turn. When I signed the easement, just made it legal for people to travel that. And also I have 4 security cameras pointing at the alley there. So traffic in the alley isn't an issue. I have weeks of video which I can provide for anybody. If anybody ever wants to see, go through weeks of video to see the amount of traffic that goes through there. It's very few. And the real issue is Kepi appeasing the neighbors, Richard and Anna Johnson, who all support dead end in the alley. The alley is not Johnson's personal driveway. The neighboring properties should all be able to use them without being harassed. I have many videos of Richard and Anna Johnson causing problems with whoever uses the alley. And Richard tells people it's his driveway, says the chief says that we want to block it off. And I've heard many times from different officers that the chief says, in this matter, we cannot do anything. And the chief says, leave it alone. And it's in everyone's best interest if you just quit using the alley, which I find hard to believe. The chief is telling people that when Johnson's are breaking the law and it's their job to uphold the law. And another time, I planted grass on my property on my side of the alley, and I got a video of Anna Johnson. She drove through it and then raked up my property. And I also have videos of Johnson's throwing sticks in my yard, throwing rocks over the fence. Looking at the yard, yelling stuff at cars. They come over and mow my yard. I got a video of a pizza delivery driver pulling up in the alley, delivered pizza to one of my tenants, and he's out there just yelling, raising all kinds of heck. This delivery driver all fired up. There's words thrown here and there, swearing, and yelling drug addict and people walking down the sidewalks. And just a couple of weeks ago, I got a video of my tenant putting his trash out by the curb. And there's a white line painted there. I don't know if it was for utilities being marked. And Johnson comes out on his front porch hollering, put it on the other side of the line. This is my property. And he goes out and takes the trash and just throws it over on the other side of the yard. And calls the police repeatedly for just ridiculous reasons. yells at my tenants that they're drug dealers. And then last summer, I got a video where Richard hired a cut above tree service to remove survey monuments from the alley. And the survey pins were encased in roughly 2 feet of concrete. And Richard always says he has signed paper from the chief of police in his house that show the surveys that they're being removed. And I've also been told that the case is pending, the Johnsons undergoing psychological evaluations. Dead-ending the alley is not a solution. Victor and Johnson will continue to harass it. And all the traffic in the alley is unwanted by the Johnsons. Dead-ending the alley would be a major inconvenience, especially for those with trailers, bucket trucks, and utility services, maintaining utilities along the alley.
Thank you for that information. Does anyone have a question? Mr. O'Rourke?
Dobbs, who owns the tree on the north side of the alley, between the alley and your fence?
To my knowledge, it's right on the property line of the alley in my property.
Okay. Do you tack the keep out signs on it?
No,
Do you tack the private property signs on it?
no.
Okay. Thank you.
No, on the other side of the alley, the Johnsons have private property signs posted as you pull into the alley. Which I don't mind. They mow along the fence, which I don't mind. They can mow, they can take care of the property on that side of the fence. But where my driveway is, they actually come up in the drive and they run right across it. The mower runs, stones fly and hit the house. They go up in the front yard.
And bend over and pick up a handful of rocks and throw them over the fence.
Now, I brought my laptop with me. I have videos, I can watch videos for hours right now of them throwing stuff in the properties and yelling at cars driving down the alley. And I got a video of my dad picking up, I got a big dump trailer. I go use that to pull into the alley and maintain the property. I pick up sticks in the back and whatever yard work needs done. And he was driving down the alley. My dad comes around the corner with my truck, and Johnsons were just pulling in. And as they saw him coming, they stopped and blocked the alley and let him through. So the police were called, and they just sat there the whole time until they showed up. Finally, the officer made a move. But it was just wasted time.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? We encourage you to come to the meeting on Monday at 1 o'clock here in council chambers. And it will be an open discussion, and the people that you were talking about, the police chief will be here. And we welcome you to the meeting. Okay. Thank you for coming. Anyone else to address council this evening? No one? Okay, moving on then. Thank you, and I will, any of you that are here, if you do not want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you are more than welcome to leave. You don't have to, you can just simply excuse yourself. Moving on, communications and petitions.
We have a letter here from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control. This is a liquor permit request, not a transfer. This is a new business. LCM Bucyrus LLC, doing business as Travelers Tap House, 242 North Sandusky Street. This is at the southeast corner of North Sandusky and East Mary, next to the Napa Holocaust Road. That needs to be referred to Health and Safety.
Okay, I need a motion to send this to Health and Safety Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Piper, second by Mr. Truca, to send this request for a liquor license to LCM Bucyrus LLC to Health and Safety Committee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Okay, motion passed. That's in Health and Safety Committee.
We have a letter here addressed to Mayor Reeser from the Vita Site Coordinator. Mayor Reeser, thank you so much for allowing the Vita Site to be located in the city property on Marion Avenue. All of us appreciate having the office space furnished for us. Couldn't provide our service without you. Sincerely, Julie Pratt, Vita Site Coordinator.
Okay. I need a motion to accept and file this thank you note.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McKeever, second by Mr. O'Rourke, to accept the letter from Vita. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passed. Moving on to our standing committee reports. Ms. Sack, would you get us started with this, please?
Sarah City Joint Regular Committee met Thursday, April 20th. Meeting began at 6:01 p.m. to 6:44 p.m. Members present were Bruce Trudeau, Mark McKeever, Mike Sack, Ian Wireball, and Steve Piper. Number one, Bucyrus City Joint Regular Committee meeting was called to order by SAC at 6:01 p.m. Number two, public participation. Terry Spiegel, Utility Superintendent, introduced Daryl Bowling of Utility Service Corporation, Cook City, Ohio, who gave a presentation on the condition of the city's north and east water towers. He displayed several photos taken during recent inspection showing areas of concern and provided materials detailing the cost of a maintenance plan. He said the east tank has largely routine corrosion issues. The north tank has not aged as well. He said there are no lead or chromium issues with exterior paint on either tank, and both are structurally sound. Bowling explained that his company's asset management model shifts the risk of maintaining the towers from the city to his company. The price structure for the two tanks combined would range from $152,000 annually from 2017 through 2021, down to $66,000 to $75,000 annually after that. The proposal will be referred to the Service Committee at the next full council meeting on May 2nd. Natalie Norman, 2.5 South Sandusky Avenue, expressed frustration that a quorum was not present for the Health and Safety Committee, which had been scheduled to take up the issue of outdoor consumption of alcohol in the downtown business district. Carmen Leffler, 2328 Christetta Road, and Kurt Fankhauser, 635 Kaler Avenue, echoed her concerns. Council President Sis Love said the Ohio Revised Code does not require council members to attend all council meetings. She explained that committee assignments are made following each election of council members and that assignments can be changed in the interim between elections. Wireball, as chairman of the Crawford County Democratic Party, said it will appoint a successor to fill councilperson Wanda Sherrick's seat after her resignation on April 30th. Number three, order of committee business. A, planning committee, there was no quorum present. B, finance committee, met from 6:30 p.m. to 6:42 p.m.
Okay, we'll turn this over then to Mr. O'Rourke for his report.
I'm going to go back to this after the.
Pardon me?
I want to address this after. Okay, finance.
Okay.
Finance Committee was called order 6:30 p.m. Members present: Steve Parker, Dan Wall, Monica Sack, acting chairwoman. Item 1, lamppost repairs in the square. Mayor Jeff Reeser and Community Development Block Grant money is available to replace lampposts in Washington Square, and that the administration would like to apply for a grant to have the money available in 2018. The grant application deadline is in mid-July. Mr. Wireball made a motion to request legislation authorizing the administration to apply for the grant, and second by Mr. Piper. Motion passed by voice vote. Item 2, water supply revolving loan account application. Mr. Reeser said the city has been approved for a loan with 0% interest for the planning, design, and/or construction of wastewater and water facilities such as U.S. EPA mandated storm separation project. The loan has a long-term amortization schedule of up to 45 years. The amount and length of the loan have not been determined, but Mr. Mayor Reeser expects it to be around $3 million. Mr. Piper made a motion requesting legislation to give the city permission to apply for the WSRLA loan. With a second by Mr. Wireball, motion passed by voice vote. Item 3, tax collection proposal. The auditor and law director have recommended the city enter into contract with Capital Recovery Systems Incorporated to reduce the number of income tax cases going to court, bring more money into the city, and cost taxpayers less as well. If a tax collection is unsuccessful after 12 months, the case will go back to the city. The city would then have access to personal contact information, which it currently does not have, for no fee. Mr. Wireball made a motion with a second by Mr. Piper to request 2 pieces of legislation to authorize the city to enter into contract with Capital Recovery Systems Incorporated for the collection of unpaid municipal income taxes and to amend and supplement Bucyrus Codified Ordinances 189.19 to establish the collection of service fees for unpaid taxes. Motion passed by voice vote. Ms. Sachs, recess the finance committee at 6:42 p.m.
Any questions about these finance minutes? Okay, moving back to your question then, Mr. O'Rourke.
Where's the, there was no quorum on health and safety. And getting back to what Ms. Sack read and Ms. Norman addressing the concerns, and reading the accounts in the newspaper, I guess I have several questions as to what's going on. I don't think it's proper for council members to, and public in general, I guess, to have a vigilante mindset and to try and account for why someone isn't here. I guess the next thing is when I read in the paper about it, and there's no minutes on it other than what was just read. There's no reference to it, and I think it's about time it's addressed. Mr. Tuggle, in your article, I think you said, the quote was, Councilman Bill O'Rourke, who has said many times he opposes allowing outdoor consumption of alcohol. Is that correct?
I don't have the article here. I can pull it up if you'd like.
You want to see it?
Sure.
Has been said in Crawford County now, Ms. Wall?
I don't know if I directly said that specifically.
Correct.
Okay. Do you know how many times?
I don't have all my notes with me.
You said several? Okay. Thank you. Mr. Ralph, have you ever heard me say that?
Going from memory, I don't know.
Have you ever heard me talk about access for disabled?
Sure.
I've never said that. All these references that everybody's saying I'm saying about the consumption of alcohol on sidewalks, it hasn't been brought up yet. It's, every time I go somewhere, people are saying this. Only in the last 2 weeks, since the last meeting, I've had people say it before. They come up and say that they don't believe this. The reason they don't is because it's not true. If you want to check your notes and get back with me, I appreciate it. Otherwise, I appreciate a retraction. I don't mind being accused. If we got one psychiatrist in here, one psychologist here that knows why I wasn't here last week, I want to speak up. What I read in the paper, I would call fake news. I mean, I don't care how long the article is, as long as it's fact what's in there. But people's opinions and what they think is occurring is not news. I know nothing further.
Thank you. Would Ms. Sack, would you like to continue with us through the completion of this?
The Health and Safety Committee, there was no quorum present. Public participation, there was none. Number 5, SAC asked for a motion to adjourn the joint regular committees. Motion by McKeever and second by Strickland to adjourn at 6:44 p.m. Motion passed.
Thank you. The Service and Finance Committees met in special session this evening, Tuesday, May the 2nd, at 2:17 at around 6:45 p.m. Service Committee, Mr. Truca.
The special meeting was called by Bill O'Rourke and Dan Wireball. The meeting was called to order by myself at 6:49 p.m. It's dealing with being able to buy up to 600 tons of road salt through ODOT. And Bill O'Rourke moved to go ahead and purchase the salt through ODOT, which is the Ohio Department of Transportation. And it was seconded by Truca. All in favor, motion passed. Bill O'Rourke made a motion to adjourn the Special Service Committee meeting, seconded by Truca. Motion passed. All in favor at 6:51 p.m.
Thank you. Mr. O'Rourke, the Finance Committee, the Special Finance Committee this evening, and May the 2nd at 6:45 p.m.
The Special Finance Committee meeting was actually called over at 6:52 p.m. because of the preceding Service Committee meeting. Members of the committee are Steve Piper, Dan Larbo, Monica Sack, and Bill O'Rourke, Chairman. Members present were Steve Piper, Monica Sack, and Bill O'Rourke. The only item on the agenda was the ODOT road salt contract, and I think the quote was at $70 per ton. And Mr. Piper requested information, and I think we're trying to obtain 600 tons, which is how much money? $42,000. And Mr. Piper made a motion to request legislation. The SAC seconded that motion, and the motion is passed. Mr. Piper made a motion to adjourn the Special Finance Committee, and it was seconded by Ms. Sack. Motion passed by voice vote. The meeting was adjourned at 6:54 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for either one of the Service or Finance, Special Finance Committee meetings? None? Moving on, Mr. McKeever.
Yes. I hope everyone here obtain a copy of possible legislation with the concerns of the downtown business district on the outdoor seating and also use of sidewalks for sidewalk sales, etc., and also possible sale of alcohol. And I really would like to make sure that we do have a meeting this Thursday. I have a quorum to discuss this. I'm very willing to discuss this and come to some amicable agreement to work out any differences so that we can get this done. It's going to prolong now with this. It'll be mid-July if we come up with something by next committee, because there's 30 days that this has to be posted for public hearing, for it to go back to plating, everything. So I just wish everybody take the time to read the information, present other information that anybody else may have, other members outside of health and safety. Please present anything. I've had many people. I went to the election today to cast one ballot. I mean, that's all I had. And every one of the women and some of the men, there were not many men, they're mostly women, at the election, all the women they're asking, what are we going to do about this? And everyone there was in favor of it. Who responded? There may have been one or two who may not have. They're wondering why. I've had other people come to me and say, what's holding this up? Why are we holding back? And I don't want to hold back. We need to move forward. We got to look forward for Bucyrus to grow. I'm not saying to do the DORA to have the whole out downtown 150 acres designated as open container. Let's take one step at a time. But I really need to have a quorum this Thursday, and if Thursday evening isn't going to work, I'm available in the morning all the way up till at least 1 o'clock. So I'd be glad to have a meeting during the day if we need to.
I need more on that, you as a chairman.
I'm asking. I'm just saying, I'm presenting my opinion. So. But
So
there is information that is given, I'd like to.
There's definitions and the law and all that is in this packet, and each one of you has a copy of it. Okay? Thank you. Moving on, Traffic Commission.
Thank you,
Mayor
Madam.
Reeser, minutes from the April 21st meeting.
We have some minutes to read. Thank you, Madam President. This is from Friday, April 21st. We met at 10 a.m. Present were myself, Service Director Mr. Wagner, Police Chief Kepke, Fire Chief Kaler. Wagner made a motion, seconded by Kepke, to approve minutes from the March 24th, 2017 Traffic Commission meeting. Motion passed. Business we talked about the do not block sign at United Bank has to be installed. It has been installed. Number 2, stop for pedestrian signs. Chief Kepke was going to make a list of the areas and ideas for the different types of signage we may use. Number 3, yield sign for Tim Hortons. The east-west alley behind Tim Hortons is actually a driveway owned by Tim Hortons. Jeff Dunn will get prices of yield signs for them to have installed. And old business, courthouse signs, they were installed March 1st, 2017. The 90-day trial will end May 29th, 2017. Jeff Dunn added times to state Monday through Friday and from 8 to 5. Traffic light at Perry, Sandusky, a turn light arrow would cost around $7,000 to add that to traffic light on Perry Street on Sandusky Avenue. Wagner made a motion, seconded by Reeser, to not install a light. Motion passed. Rose Court, we had some issues with parking, and those are my neighbors there, so I spoke to them about moving the parked cars that prevents the garbage truck from turning around on Mondays. And Mr. Dev reported that they had moved and there are no issues. On East Street, 300 block, we tried to make contact with another parking issue. Unfortunately, we were unable to locate the person who left the blue truck. So the garbage truck still cannot get through. So we made a motion, since it's such a narrow street, we're going to try for a 90-day trial of no parking in the 100 to 400 blocks, which will allow the garbage trucks and fire trucks to get through. And that motion passed. The trial will end July 21st, 2017. At East Mansfield Street and Stetzer, lights were set to flash from 10 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. East Mansfield Street at Whetstone Loop, lights were also set to flash at the same time. Charles Warren, Rensselaer, and the Square, those lights were set to flash from 10 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. Warren and Rensselaer have been set to run with Charles Street, that's during the daytime hours. Commission will look into different options for the Square. We table that. Continuing discussion, Beale at Marion, lights were set to flash from 10 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. The no turn on red sign for southbound traffic on Marion Road onto Beale Avenue needs to be straightened. Jeff's going to take care of that. We've numbered the city parking lots. They've been posted on all the lots. We had some new business. We talked about 200 block of East Rensselaer. There was a no parking loading zone sign that needs to be removed, no longer needed. A letter will be sent to council to ask for the traffic control map to be amended to remove the extra no parking signs. Speed limit signs on Beale Avenue. We also mentioned Councilman O'Rourke's concern that we had too many. We're going to look into removing some extra signs on there. And on Beale Avenue from Marion Road to Sandusky Avenue. Jeff Dent's in charge of that. On Cherry Lane, we had a request to study the parking and maybe some same issues on difficulty getting the garbage truck and safety forces through Cherry Lane. And we're studying that also. We'll be measuring that and taking it up at a future meeting. On River Street, we have a no parking request. Chief Kepke asked the Traffic Commission to pick a side, north or south, that would have a no parking on River Street between Sandusky Avenue and Tiffin Street. And Kepke made a motion, seconded by Wagner, to have a 90-day trial for no parking on the south side between Sandusky and Tiffin. Motion passed. The trial will end July 21st, 2017. This will allow us for a walk path. Quite a few kids walk to school that way. We're concerned about their safety. I also brought about applying for grants, and we will be doing that very soon too, for the cost of the new sidewalk and path. And our next meeting was set for June 2nd at 10 a.m. in council chambers, although we called the other meeting, the actual next meeting was reported earlier, is May 8th, next Monday at 1 p.m. And Mr. Wagner made a motion, seconded by Chief Kaler, to adjourn the meeting at 10:43 a.m., and that motion passed.
Any questions regarding the traffic commission? Mr. Wireball?
Yeah, I'm not being smart here, but the 200 block of East Lear Street, the no parking loading zone sign.
Yes.
I guess I'm not being smart. Did you ask any of the neighbors if
they
were using that before you?
The business that was there is no longer there. That was the one that was using those. And so
okay.
That was a good
I'm
question.
trying to help you out. Trying to help you out. If you ask her, knock on a few doors first, maybe you.
That was years ago. The Jolly Company used to be in there, R.A. Jolly Company, and
Printer in there, yeah.
And there was a printer, I believe. Okay.
That's a good point.
Good point. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm not trying to be smart. And on River Street, why?
Well, we have some issue on River Street. There's no
Curve.
Yeah, there's no curb there. So people park, and they park halfway up in the lawns in the street. So it's not wide enough to have parking on both sides. And we want to finish the sidewalk in there. There's a section that doesn't have a sidewalk right now. So we need to have a little better traffic control, given all the people that walk from the north corridor, out where I live, on the northeast corridor that way. It gets quite a bit of work. We're just concerned for the safety.
Yeah.
Especially if there's cars parked there.
So there's no parking on either side right
now?
now? Or, I mean,
there's parking on both sides right now.
Both sides,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come to comments a little bit later as we get down into our agenda, okay? Any other questions about, yes, traffic commission, Mr. Rohr?
The same item on River Street there, I don't know, I don't know if I've seen anybody park there.
There's occasionally some cars there.
I've seen it before, not very often, but I tell you, on the same subject, as far as, if I was going to spend money on putting a new sidewalk in, I would not do it on that side of the street. Do it on the north side, because on the south side, once you get across, there's no sidewalk there.
Right, that's what I was talking about. We're talking about the north side of the street, the sidewalk, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I thought you meant
Yeah,
south side.
no, it's, okay.
And we have some traffic down in that area because Waycraft is down there, and I think some of the hospital's traffic and whatnot, and so.
Right, but I know, like,
Yeah.
down there where the apartments are, you know, you build something new, you're forced to put in a sidewalk, and that's the only sidewalk there, and then there's a long stretch with no sidewalk, which looks hokey. So I could understand wanting to put one in there, but I mean, as far as going to school, right, once you get up to Tiffin Street, there's no sidewalk on the other side, so it's almost pointless.
And kids won't cross back and forth.
Right, you don't want them going diagonal.
Any other questions or comments about traffic commission? Okay, I need a motion to accept the committee minutes and related committee reports collectively.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. McKeever, second by Mr. Wireball to accept the committee minutes and related committee reports collectively. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion passed. Move on to our report of city officers. Mayor Reeser.
Okay, thank you again, Madam President. May have noticed a little sprucing up at City Hall here. About a week ago, we had Pioneer students spend a day, worked very hard, doing some of the trimming and mulching, weeding, taking care of our grounds here, and also looked at the park also. It's part of a big service project they do each year. Ms. Katie Fisk lives in Bucyrus, leads that group every year. They do a fantastic job. Speaking of City Hall grounds, we've awarded the contract for the new planter. You may have noticed that it's been taken out. It was in rough shape. And we expect that to be finished by the end of May or early June. We had some excited visitors here last week. We had third graders. Some fired up third graders. I think one of them sat in your chair and had the same last name. Yeah, they were a good group of kids from Colonel Crawford schools, and got to tour City Hall. We talked about how government worked and told about the history of Bucyrus. They seemed to be enjoyed that. I think they more than anything, they enjoyed the sitting in the fire truck and the police car. So they also toured the courthouse too. So it's always fun every year to have kids here. Last Friday we had an historic day in Bucyrus. It was Arbor Day. Celebrated for the very first time. Elwood Gebhardt and family, Mrs. Gebhardt, helped us plant the first tree, which was an autumn maple. We planted that on Finley Hill, which is a historic site in Bucyrus. It's now where Arby's is. It was owned one time by a prominent lawyer in town. It was full of trees. It was a beautiful tree grove up there. It also was where the last Johnny Appleseed tree lived. And we also planted a couple trees at the elementary school and secondary school, and those were honey locusts. The Lions Club donated 2 spruce trees that we planted at Lions Park. Some really nice trees, and we thank Overlanders for the special prices. 2 of those trees, 3 of those trees were donated, by the way. They have a great tree board. I mean, they're very knowledgeable about trees, and they care about the city. Our chair is Valerie Sprang, Susan Cathcart, also Sir Sandra Rostash, Brad Ben Boris, and Dave Tuttle. Dave's a former licensed arborist. He's retired. They know so much about trees, and they know. I was teasing. I think Valerie Sprang knows every tree at All Miller Park by name. So the support that you gave to the tree program is monumental, and you'll see that the payoff this year, next year. We're going to have a beautiful tree canopy in town, thanks to City Council. So can't say thank you enough. Finally, well, there's actually two things. Longtime plant manager Timken Bob Hiltbrand was promoted and will be in charge of international business for Timken. He was an integral part of our community, worked on several boards, very community minded, and we will miss him. We took him to lunch last week to thank him. And Tim Hicks is our new plant manager. He's already on the job, and we pledged to work closely with him as we did with Bob, of course, all our employers who we appreciate so much in the community. One thing I want to add here, which I did have before, on Thursday evening at 7 p.m. right here at City Hall, down in the foyer, the Ministerial Association is holding a National Day of Prayer service. You're all welcome to attend 7 p.m. And that's it for tonight. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for the mayor regarding this report this evening? None? Okay, moving on. We have the service director's report. Do you want to read that?
Yes, I sure will.
Okay.
I'll go very quickly. New slides will be installed tomorrow at All Miller Park. So, gotta have a little fun. Come out, look at our new slide. It'll be out there tomorrow. We put out on how long it's going to take to put up, but it's probably several days. Traffic Commission already announced earlier, it's May 8th at 1 p.m. Airport Leads bid opening will be 10 a.m. on Monday, May 15th, 2017. Cleanup week continues. You still can put extra trash out up to 12 bags. Absolutely no furniture or appliances will be accepted, though. You have to call one of the local haulers if you want to have furniture removed. Our compost site is open on Wednesdays and Fridays from 8 to 2, and on Saturdays from 8 to 1. We met with Arcadis. Those were the engineers in charge of our EPA project. They were here last week. Laura McGinnis and Margaret Kazdick. And our reports are due in August, and we are doing well so far. She'll be back addressing council in August. Our electric aggregation, you probably got letters from the AEP. They were sent out to the AEP customers and AEP energy customers residing in Bucyrus. The letter explains how to opt out if you do not want to be part of the program. The AEP energy rate will be 0.05787 per kilowatt for a 3-year term. And just to let you know, there is a little confusion out there. The city of Bucyrus does not benefit, there's no kickback to the city of Bucyrus. We negotiate with AEP Energy for the lowest possible rate, the lower that you're going to get long-term on the open market. You may get a lower initial 2 or 3 month rate, but you must ask the questions, how long is that rate good for? I can tell you personally from where I have electric accounts out of town, this .587 kills every one of these rates. So we've been taking a little heat from people that think we're forcing them in. You can certainly opt out of it. It's not a problem. We'll let you know how to do that. Actually, you got it in the letter. If you have any questions, call us. But before you opt out, think twice about it. Number 8, park updates, a ground barrier for weed control, and the mulch barriers have arrived, and we will be putting them in over this month. Our Perso rep was here. Perso rep is our insurance rep for our public property. He gave us a few pointers that we could improve on, and we had 4 issues. 3 of them have already been addressed, and we're working on the 4th one for different solutions. For those of you who are my neighbors on Plymouth Street, you'll be getting a letter sometime this month explaining the new project that will be starting in October. It got pushed back till October because of some of the extra requests from ODOT. The Fairgrounds Southern Avenue project, we call the Robin Hood Heights / Fairgrounds project, and that's already started. Well underway. We expect that to be done by June 30th. We lost a firefighter to retirement this last week. Lieutenant Chris Schaefer retired after 29 years on last Saturday. We wish him the very best of luck and thank him for his 29 years of service. And finally tonight we have something that we love doing. It's a lot of fun. We were able to swear in 2 new officers from the fire department, our Lieutenant Steve Sargel and Lieutenant Casey Julio Gillum, our 2 new lieutenants for the fire department. And we congratulate them. I know they will do very well leading the fire department. That's all from the Safety Service Director. Thank you, Madam President.
Any questions regarding the Safety Service Director's report? I guess one thing I would like to add to this, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I believe the gas station there on East Mansfield Street, they're at Iron. I think the demolition get underway today.
They started some.
They started today?
I saw them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
But I think there's a gathering at 1 o'clock. There was a grant.
That's all part of the grant also.
Yeah. That's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So we're starting to see some movement.
Finally.
Yes.
The wheels of government can work a little slow sometimes, but they do eventually work.
Okay. Moving on, the Law Director, Mr. Ratliff.
Thank you, Madam President. I was going to talk about the construction at the car station, but you got that covered. So, tomorrow at 1 o'clock we're going to be removing the tanks and starting that. So it'll be a little bit of a kickoff thing. It's been a long time coming. Other than that, no written report. I included the municipal court stuff for the last 2 weeks. Still trying to flesh that out a little bit how we do that, but those are kind of those numbers, raw numbers. So that's all I have.
Any questions then for the Law Director, Mr. O'Rourke?
Most wanted?
Well, our most wanted remains the infamous. But there is also an ancillary civil case. Service has been completed in that case, and there are hearings scheduled for the very near future. So hopefully, we'll see some improvement on Rogers Street before too long.
Okay, any other questions or comments for the Law Director? Moving on, Auditor, Mrs. Schiffer.
Thank you, Madam President. You have the usual monthly reports, your statement of cash position, revenue tallies, and income tax comparisons. And that's all I have to see. No referrals.
No referrals this evening? Okay. Any questions for the Auditor this evening? None. Moving on, you have the Treasurer's report for March the 31st. I need a motion to accept and file this report. It was given to you at the last meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wirebaugh, second by Ms. Sack, to accept the Treasurer's report for March 31st, 2017. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passed. We have nothing from the police chief this evening, but you have the first quarter report from the fire department, and It was given to you at the last meeting. If you have any questions or comments, Mr. O'Rourke?
I guess the mayor's the only one who can answer it, but as far as ambulance runs by city ambulance,
Oh, I don't have that.
any statistics on that?
No, I don't have that information. I can get it for you though.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
What are you looking for? Just
Well,
last month
I
or-
guess, how many runs, what times?
Okay. I can get that all for you.
I guess, since you brought it up, Bill.
Mr. Wireball?
Since you brought it up, Bill, seems like, what was it, New Washington was a little upset this week, I read, and well, he took off already, newspaper. Maybe it was you guys. Oh, it was those guys. That we're pulling out of the ambulance district. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, you talking about the article in Crawford County now?
Yeah.
I don't think, I think.
I mean, that's the impression I got. I think that's the impression they get.
No, I think what that gist of that article was, and Crystal's here, she wrote it, I think it was, that somebody that was on the ambulance board said if Bucyrus is pulling out, then we have to, you know, have a backup plan. Yeah, and I don't think there was anything about being upset about anything. I don't think Steve, when he presented that, I wasn't at that meeting, and I didn't see any.
I don't know if
Yeah.
they were upset,
Yeah.
they were concerned, maybe that's.
Well, I don't think there's any comments from any of the, yeah, no, so if you're asking me if we're pulling out of the ambulance, so we haven't, you know, we haven't given any indication that we're doing that at all. No, we haven't. We're just discussing, you know, what the
Well, I know we
future.
have, but
Yeah,
I
we're
thought-
still, we're not any.
Sometimes we don't always hear everything first.
Yeah, right, I know. Well, we haven't, you know, we really haven't had any big discussions about it even ourselves. We just have some general ideas about what we would like to see possibly in the future, the best way to spend our tax dollars. Does that include being part of an ambulance district? And is that fair to the citizens of Bucyrus? So we're kind of analyzing that right now. You know, we're not ready to make any decisions. We're going to bring it to council to present to you folks. So we're still kind of analyzing, you know, what's going on there, and we haven't made anything, made any concrete decisions on it at all. So I think you know, I guess the intention for as a city, I mean, we would like to make sure that the townships, you know, at least had options. You know, we would not want to leave them without ambulance service. Our intention would not be to do that. So, but whether that happens in 6 months or 6 years, we have no timetable on that.
Okay, well, I thought maybe I missed something, so.
Yeah.
Okay. I need a motion to accept the first quarter report of the fire department.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Piper, second by Mr. McKeever, to accept the first quarter report from the fire department. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passed. I need a motion to collectively accept the city officers' reports.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McKeever, second by Ms. Sack, to accept the city officers' reports. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passed. This is where we have visitors' input regarding the standing or special committees and of city officers. If you have a question, would you please step to the podium, please, and state your name and address.
My name is Doug Fote. I live at 330 West Oakwood Avenue here in Bucyrus. Question actually was for Mr. Reeser. Saturday evening, I was coming home. I came home late from an Indians game, and you guys have already started the traffic lights at the square intersection right there. My inquiry is there a possibility to do it maybe an hour or two later in the evening? As I came up to that intersection, there was traffic coming through the blinking light area, and there was also traffic catty corner from me across the other intersection. Some were turning, some were going straight. And that's where I see that we could possibly have somewhat of an issue or an accident is because they don't necessarily know when I'm going to turn, I don't know when they're going to turn, and because it's on the blinking light, it's kind of, You know, I mean, I could just see that possibly being an issue, and I think if maybe we back it off an hour or two later, that would maybe cut down on the amount of traffic at that time, and therefore could prevent that possibility of an accident.
Good point. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we'll look into that. I think that's.
and like I said, that's just because my own personal experience going through there just this past weekend, so.
Yeah.
And I know that normally towards summertime, we tend to get more traffic later in the evening versus wintertime and everything of that nature.
That's something to bring up the traffic, on my traffic commission. So, now, what's your, I'll get your phone number later.
Right. And then the only other thing that I wanted to speak about is ultimately, Mr. O'Rourke, I completely agree with your statement to Mr. Tuggle. I don't think Facebook and places of that nature are where we need to be airing our dirty laundry out for situations that pertain to city council. But at the same time too, I do think that we need to be present. Therefore, the people can have the exchange of ideas and have that open quorum with you guys as well. Whatever was last week that you weren't able to make it, everybody has issues, everybody has things why we can't make it, and that's more than understandable. But I think that because this issue has been drawn out as long as it has, I think that's why we're getting some of the backlash that we're getting at this point. People have gotten to the point of where we're bitterly frustrated. And we're lashing out now and maybe saying things or doing things that we wouldn't normally have done otherwise, but we're down to the nitty gritty now. So I agree with Mr. McKeever here. I believe that if we can sit down and discuss this all as a group, I think we could come to a great common ground and it could be a wonderful thing for our city moving forward. So, but I do greatly agree with you on not airing our dirty laundry out on Facebook. That's not where we handle the matters. So that's all I need to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cobb. Anyone else? Moving on, for consideration of proposed legislation for the first time.
We have 5 pieces of legislation. Ordinance number 26, 2017, authorizing and directing the City of Bucyrus Tax Administrator to enter into a debt collection agreement with Capital Recovery Systems Incorporated for the collection of outstanding municipal income taxes, fines, penalties, and interest, and declaring an emergency. That is referred to finance. Ordinance number 27, 2017, amending and supplementing Bucyrus Codified Ordinance 189.19 by establishing a collection service fee for unpaid municipal income taxes, fines, penalties, and interest owed to the City of Bucyrus and declaring an emergency. That is referred to finance. Resolution number 214, 2017, a resolution authorizing the mayor to apply for, accept, and enter into a water supply revolving loan account, or WSRLA, agreement on behalf of the City of Bucyrus for planning, design, and/or construction of water facilities, and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan and declaring an emergency. That is referred to finance. Resolution number 215, 2017, authorizing and directing the Service Safety Director of the City of Bucyrus, Ohio to apply for a CDBG Community Development Allocation Program Downtown Revitalization Grant to repair and replace lampposts in Washington Square. That is referred to finance. And finally, resolution number 216, 2017, authorizing and directing the Service Safety Director of the City of Bucyrus, Ohio to enter in contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation to participate in its annual road salt bid. That is referred to the Service Committee.
Thank you. I need a motion to accept this as our first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McKeever, second by Mr. Wireball to accept this as the first reading. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passed. We need to refer ordinance number 26-2017 back to Finance Committee. Ordinance number 27-2017 to Finance Committee. Resolution number 214-2017 to Finance. Resolution number 215-2017 to Finance, and resolution number 216-2017 to Service Committee. This is the time where we have public participation. Any member of the general public may present their input or comments on legislation that has been read for the first time. Does anyone wish to address council this evening about legislation? No one? Do we need a recess this evening? No? Okay. Committee reports on pending legislation. Finance Committee?
Finance Committee is favorable ordinance 26-2017 tax collection contract. And Finance is favorable ordinance 27-2017 tax collection fee. Finance is favorable resolution 214-2017 CDBG grant for lamppost. And Finance is favorable resolution 215-2017, water supply revolving loan account application.
Service Committee? Mr.
Service
Trigger?
Committee is favorable to resolution 216-2017. It's dealing with making available that the city of Bucyrus can purchase up to 600 tons of road salt through Ohio Department of Transportation.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion to accept these reports.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pfeiffer, second by Mr. McKeever to accept the reports. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passed. For further consideration of pending legislation. For the second and third reading of proposed ordinance number 26-2017, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, which is for the tax collection contract. Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of the caption and text, and declare it an emergency?
So moved.
Second. McKeever.
Yes.
Wireball.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Sack. O'Rourke.
Yes.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Ordinance number 26-2017.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed ordinance number 26-2017?
So moved.
Second.
McKeever.
Yes.
Sack.
Yes.
O'Rourke. Yes.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Wireball.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Ordinance number 26-2017 is duly adopted. For the second and third reading of proposed ordinance number 27-2017, which is the tax collection fee, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of the caption and text, and declare it an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
Wireball.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Sack.
Yes.
O'Rourke.
Yes.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Ordinance number 27-2017.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed ordinance number 27-2017?
So moved. Second.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Wireball.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Sack.
Yes.
O'Rourke.
Yes.
Ordinance number 27-2017 is duly adopted. For the second and third readings of proposed resolution number 214-2017, which is the CDBG grant for lampposts, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of the caption and text, and declare it an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
Wireball.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Sack.
Yes.
O'Rourke.
Yes.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Resolution number 214-2017.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed resolution 214-2017?
So moved.
Second.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
O'Rourke.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Wireball.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Sack.
Yes.
Resolution 214-2017 is duly adopted. For the second and third reading of proposed resolution 215-2017, which is the water supply revolving loan account application, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of the caption and text, and declare it an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
Wireball.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Sack.
Yes.
O'Rourke.
Yes.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Resolution number 215-2017.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed resolution 215-2017?
So moved. Second.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Wireball.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Sack.
Yes.
O'Rourke.
Yes.
Resolution 215-2017 is duly adopted. For the second and third reading of proposed resolution 216-2017, which is the ODOT road salt contract, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules, waive the reading of the caption and text, and declare it an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
Wireball.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Sack.
Yes.
O'Rourke.
Yes.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Resolution number 216-2017.
Do I hear a motion to adopt proposed resolution 216-2017?
So moved.
Second.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
O'Rourke.
Yes.
McKeever.
Yes.
Wireball.
Yes.
Trucca.
Yes.
Sack.
Yes.
Resolution number 216-2017 is duly adopted. Thank you. Under old business, we have the water tower referral. and the municipal tax collection that need to be referred.
Municipal tax collection, this is the O&L, state house.
Oh, this is just what we passed out?
Correct.
Okay. Let's start with the water tower referral. We need to get that to, water towers goes to Public Lands and Buildings and to Finance. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Ms. Sacks, second by Mr. McKeever, to put the water tower referral into Public Lands and Building and Finance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion, I'm sorry, opposed, say no. Motion passed. Okay, then the municipal tax collection in your packet, I've got it here somewhere. There is a, this is from the Ohio Municipal League, and the House budget bill had originally proposed centralized collection of municipal net profit tax from businesses, and it's been taken out of the budget. And that's a good thing for us. We don't want Columbus collecting anything for us. They have a tendency to keep it.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Because currently, any businesses that use the gateway, that money comes directly, we get a report from the gateway, and the money is direct deposited in our account at the bank. Now, this is saying taxes collected through the gateway are guaranteed to be distributed to municipalities at least bi-monthly. So we're not going to get it right away. They're still hanging on to things.
Okay, but those are just ones that are going through the gateway.
Right.
Okay.
And those businesses are going to be charged 20% to use the gateway, which kind of makes me think maybe they wouldn't do that.
I would think not. I can put a call in down to the OML tomorrow and find out if that's exactly what they are going to be doing. That's what they've been doing in the past, but you say you've been getting it right away?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
basically, it is just a gateway to our accounts. They can file the report, we pull it off the gateway so that we have a record of it, and the money goes directly into our account.
Okay, we'll inquire about that tomorrow. Okay, and I'll get back with you. Also, in addition to paperwork that was passed out this evening, you have the packet about the proposed DORA and operating guidelines. You also have beginnings of a discussion here for retail businesses in the downtown business area. You've got some information about that. So make sure that we get that read and we're ready to discuss it on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. Anyone else with old business they'd like to bring up this evening? No one? New business. May the 5th is LeaderCast. It's hosted by the Crawford Partnership from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at Grace Point Church in Galleon. I believe there are still some seats available for that. You can call 419-563-1809. I don't know who their main speaker is this year. I guess I...
Desmond Tutu.
Pardon?
Desmond Tutu, Peyton Manning, I think Laura Bush is one of them.
Okay,
So
thank you.
It's a impressive lineup for you.
yeah,
Yes,
very,
always.
very well.
May the 5th is also putting on the dog charity auction at the Humane Society serving Crawford County from 6 to 10 p.m. at Dillinger's. I'm sure that that would be a lot of fun. Here's an opportunity to support the Humane Society. May the 6th, the farmers market returns. It's summer, or getting close. Didn't feel like it today, but it's from 8:30 a.m. to noon. It's at 1695 East Mansfield Street. On May the 6th, the Bourne Spring Flame Vendor and Craft Show is out at the Bucyrus Nazarene Church from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and that would be raising funds for that great service to our community by Bourne. On May the 11th, the Crawford County Community Concert Association is Phil Dirt and the Dozers. It's $20. It's from 7 to 9 p.m. Bucyrus Elementary School. 419-562-3224. There are always tickets available, and that is always a fun time, but then I'm of an age. So, also May the 25th is the last day of school for Bucyrus City Schools. That's coming up really, really quickly here. Does anyone else have any new business or they'd like to bring up this evening? Mr. Truca?
Yes, attended the Crawford Park District Board meeting, and on May 13th, out at Crawford Park District, they're serving pancakes with a donation of $5 per meal, and they're actually serving real maple syrup, ham, coffee, and juice breakfast. That's from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. And if you arrive early at 7 o'clock in the morning, they're going to do bird banding. They're going to put little bands on birds and write down their numbers and keep track of the birds.
Okay. They always do such interesting things out there, and if you go out there, you won't leave hungry, that's for sure. Any other new business anybody would like to bring up? None? Okay. We're all here this evening. We will comment on the fact that Ms. Sherrick is no longer with us, and her resignation was effective Sunday, and we will be getting a new council member. Ohio law requires 5 days before anyone can be appointed to the position, and so we are in that 5-day period now. The Board of Elections has been notified of it, as has the Crawford County Democratic Party, so they will be making the appointment. Okay, joint regular committee meetings. All referrals from this council meeting and any open project list items may be discussed during the committee meetings. Referrals this evening are?
We have 2 referrals. We have the water tower service proposal that was referred from council to Public Lands and Buildings and Finance. We have the liquor permit request at North Sandusky and East Berry Street that was referred from council to Health and Safety. Already in committee for the agenda for Thursday, we have 2 items for the planning committee. The rezoning request for a property on Hopley near Whetstone, and a alley vacation request for the same property at Hopley and near Whetstone. We have 2 items for health and safety. We have medical marijuana is in committee as already, and we have alcohol consumption of alcohol in the downtown business district, and that's it.
Okay. The next WBCO radio program is on May the 10th, and Mr. McKeever will be appearing at that point in time. Okay. That is all we have for this evening. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. McKeever, second by Mr. Wirebaugh. All those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion passed. We are adjourned at 8:42 p.m.